I'm Need to the GNTG and welcome to Raging G. Let's try something else. Show the intro. Nice. Now we're better. Let's go a little bit trip to the time. We are in 1996 and two people, Garth, Ennis and John McCrea, write and design a comic for DC. That comic, it would be amazing police stories because it was a really relaxed and well-written series with a hitman called Tommy, and imagine it like Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour, police comedy with action for people that knew and watched those kind of movies, but in Gotham, with a little few cameos with Batman, Superman and other heroes, and you have an amazing and enjoyable show. But I don't want to talk about those characters. This is for another episode. If you want to talk about this, leave a comment down below. But the thing I want to talk about more is for the supporting characters, and specifically for the team that used to hang out in the bar that everyone was gathered there. It's called Section 8. That team has characters like Jean de Baton Baton, a character that could win with the power of French, Flamme, a guy that would throw flames everywhere, Sakes, that was literally the hobo in the corner that had Parkinson's, Friendly Fire, that is one of the most powerful characters because he could throw laser beams from his hats, but he would usually hit himself or his characters. Dog Welder, that would take dead dogs and weld it on other people. Defenestrator, that he would carry along with him a window that would throw his characters through in it. And their leader, Sixpack, a small, simple person that would drink all the time, but he has inside of him the thing that would make him a hero. He really has that, and he is a superhero. In the last few issues of Hitman, there was a big attack invasion of demons that killed most of his team, and at the end he was alone, Sixpack, I'm talking about Sixpack, and sacrificing his soul so the demons could take him with him and save the entire human race. It was sad, but you see they left the ending open-ended because we see at the end of that issue a simple guy that tries to put his life into a nice place because he was a big alcoholic and would drink all the time. Hitman was completed in 1998, having 62 issues and 4 awards. 3 of those awards were for issues. One of those awards though was for a character, and specifically Dog Welder, making him one of the weirdest characters to receive an award, because I told you, he was welding dead dogs into other people. But one of those awards was the issue 34, taking the award, the Eisner Award. For people that don't know, it was the Oscar Award but for comics. The title of the comic, Oh Thee I Sing. In that issue we see Tommy talking to Superman, but in a nicer, most human level. Shows how simple Superman is and how he wants to help everyone around. And Tommy shows how good is Superman, being Superman and helping America. It's weird to see a writer like Ennis writing so amazingly well Superman, and continues to do that again and again when Ennis writes about Superman. Later, in 2007, there was a small crossover of 2 issues with the Justice League of America and Tommy from Hitman. And after there, no one wrote about those characters. Like I said, the Hitman was completed in 1998, 2007, 2 issues, nothing else. You see that everywhere there are categories. For example, DC has A-listers, that they are Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, I'm talking about Hal Jordan, that they are supporting them and selling them as much as possible with amazing, with big advertisements, with a lot of comics, with many crossovers. Then we have the B-listers, Grayson, Midnighter, and they don't have issues. C-listers, you may heard about them, we don't care about them. For example, for Marvel, the A-listers are Captain Falcon, Captain America, Thor, the female one, Miss Marvel, Nova, the kid. Marvel, what the fuck are you doing with your characters? You see, Hitman is a no-lister comic. No one is going to mention it, no one's going to write about it, and not many people care about it except the readers and the creators. You see, in 2015, DC, with After Convergence, another really weird event, created a big pile of amazingly well-written comics. If you want to talk about them, leave a message down below. Made DCYou. Now, what is DCYou? DC decided to change all of the characters, with Superman making him lose his powers, Batman supposedly dying, because in comics no one really dies, and to show other characters like Midnighter, Grayson, Harley Quinn, and promoting another cast of characters. You see, but unfortunately DC cancelled that in less than a year because their sales are awful. You see, they're businesses, and if you like something, you want to show it, you need to show it with your wallet. Yeah, you may like a series, but if you don't buy it, they can't make money to make more. The weird is that one of those series is one that they bring back Ennis and McCrea with the help of Khalees, the All-Star Section 8 series. A continuation from Hitman, but not with the Hitman characters, but with that team of the side characters. One of the most offensive teams that you can ever see. And you see, it's going to be a really small 6-issue mini-series. So the comic began with Sid being in an art gallery, talking, having a good time, and accidentally he drank a small amount of alcohol. And after that we see him removing his clothes, starting throwing up everywhere, yelling all the villains of DC and making a lot of inside jokes, downing an entire bottle and warping to the bar of Hitman, and decides to recreate his old crew, but with new people. Except one that I didn't mention because many people would know him, but for the people that don't know him, it's Bueno Excelente. A character that, how can I say that? He's one of the most offensive, most fucking weird things that I could ever see in a comic book. He's a man with a known age, wearing a trench coat, big boots, and women's panties of small size. The only thing that he can say is bueno and excelente. Nothing less, nothing more. That character is really weird because he managed to do something tremendously weird to one of the A-listers of the time, specifically Kyle Rayner. For people that don't know, Kyle Rayner is one of the characters that had in his hands big power of the White Lanterns, one of the most powerful lanterns in comics currently. He was the first and when New 52 began, and now is one of the few White Lanterns that are in existence. And what he did to that character? He raped him. Yep. Bueno excelente, raped Kyle Rayner. I would say that it was a small joke that never mentioned it. But when it was mentioned in the crossover of 2007, and it was mentioned it again in this miniseries, making it a small part of history of Kyle Rayner. You see, in those small 6 issues, tries to recreate Section 8, calling new people like Dog Welter 2, that is practically the same character, a guy that says nothing and welds dead dogs to other people. Power 2, a simple guy filled with power tools, Grappler, that has a grappling hook and says nothing, does nothing else. Baiter, a big demon of hell that spits white liquid from his mouth, stuck into the other people and making them to dust, turning them into dust. Guts, that is a pile of organs that Bueno starts having an affair with her and starts doing other things. And then he wants the 8th member that wants what Sixpack wants to be an A-lister, like Batman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Superman, and one of those people. Each issue has Sixpack and how he tries to get one of those people with the most offensive way possible that you can imagine. For example, Batman becomes a racist without knowing it, Green Lantern getting crazy, Martian Manhunter getting so disgusted with something he sees, Wonder Woman becoming a bimbo after Baiter hits her in the head with a hammer really hard, and so on and so on. The funny thing is that there are more subplots that Ennis manages to go from subplot to subplot amazingly well. For example, Dr. Welter's family that are looking for him, the relationship between Bueno and Guts, and what's happening around Sixpack, because there are people talking to him. We see him going to the afterlife and facing his inner demons, and there is a weird balance in between questioning if he's alive or dead and what is happening. There are many things that make you think about it. And of course, when we see Superman again in the last issue, there is a nice conversation that is really thoughtful, that shows how weird is that a really offensive comic like this, many people call it offensive, managed to make you think like that. Another thing that helps this comic tremendously is how dirty is the artwork. For example, the bar is filled with dirt everywhere, many characters are disgusting, but there are many references in the backgrounds and drawbacks in the old histories and old stories of character. A thing that I didn't expect was how linear how relaxed was DC in this comic. For example, they asked, can we make Batman a racist? DC said okay. There is a character that makes sex with a pile of organs. You okay with that? Yeah, okay. Remember that story with the character that raped Kyle Rayner? Can we mention it? Well, yeah, okay, you can do it. It's weird because DC was really relaxed and allowed many things. They had creative freedom and managed to make an amazing comic. But not many people were like that. Critics said that it was offensive, it was terrible, the artwork were awful, and the sale numbers is showed that. You see, in comics, sale numbers show how good and well received is a comic. For example, the first issue of Section 8 had it had good sales for a style like that, with 31,000. The 60th issue had less than 9,000 sales. For example, Marvel, it would be cancelled without even releasing half the issues, because Marvel has a policy that when a comic is not selling more than 25,000 sales, they would cancel it. Section 8 wouldn't even manage to hold for 3 issues. DC is a bit more relaxed again in that thing. For example, now DC is going to make DC Rebirth, that tries to return to the status quo that we had and promote more Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, etc., etc. They kept a few series like Gotham Academy that has small sales, has low sales, but it has a steady audience. They respect their audiences. Another example is Omega Man. That is one perfect comic with amazing designs, because the designer manages to use the comic medium tremendously well done, using smart ideas, nice design. The writer manages to show a lot of religion issues, something that you would never think that a comic would talk about them. And they're not offensive, but shows how a man can live needing something to believe in. When I start reading it, I never fully grasped the ideas behind this comic. But later on, when I researched, when I saw all the people saying about it and reading it again and again, I managed to understand, and it's amazing. And yeah, you need to look a little bit of it. You need to look Omega Man. But with the sales number, DC said that it would be cancelled after 6 issues. But when they first said that it was 12 issues. But after the audience tried to fight and make it again to 12 issues, DC said, yep, you're okay. You can make it 12 issues. We're going to lose a little bit of money, but you're free to finish the 12-issue story that we said in the beginning that you're able to do. And that is another reason that I love DC like a comic. It's really amazing when you see a really offensive story like this, that many people would say something like that, but I see it becoming a guilty pleasure of many. And notice all that work in it, all that effort that put in this comic. I don't know if we're going to see another comic from those creators, but they made a multitude of other works, but I haven't read them, and I think that they're going to be in the same level. If you're able, check out Hitman and All-Star Section 8. It's an amazing comic that you need to check it out, as I said again. So, that is all for today. I'm NDG. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Raging G. If you liked it, like, comment what you want me to talk about later. Subscribe, like my personal page. Till next time.